Good evening. I am Dr. Crockertron Bitches, and with me, as always, is the Paranormal Oxman.
Paranormal Oxman.
Yeah.
That's solid. That's solid.
I like it. We here to talk about golf. No. Soccer?
I may talk about soccer, because Serbia and Croatia won. Yeah!
And now they have to fight each other to the death.
Oh, that's just an average Saturday evening, sir.
Muertos. So we got some razzling. Razzling has happened. And,
Things of a razzling nature have occurred.
Razzle.
Things of a Lucha Underground have occurred.
Also true.
Things of a Takeover origin have occurred.
This is also true.
And the regular shit.
Yeah. Trying to find the Takeover card, but apparently the Internet Wrestling Database has not uploaded that.
I've got a handy here.
Well, I mean, I could just search Google, but it's kind of weird they don't have it. It's not something that they got the results for their show they did in Antwerp on the 12th. Would you like to know what happened in Antwerp for NXT?
I'm game for this.
Your boys, Heavy Machinery, defeated the Eichner and somebody named Marcel Barthel.
Interesting.
Or Barthel. Wolfgang defeated Steve Cutler. Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai defeated Blanca Blur and Lacey Evans. Adam Cole Bay beat Zach Gibson. Ryle O'Reilly and Hodrick Strong beat the Britt Ann Bruisers. Shayna Baszler defeated Nikki Cross, and Alistair Black, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne beat Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, and Tommaso Ciampa's. It's a pretty solid show. Good job, Antwerp.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So this was on the 12th. That was on Tuesday. So that was before the Take Under. Interesting. It is kind of, I mean, I guess you can do those things. Maybe that's why TakeOver was so good, is because they were able to work that shit out ahead of time.
It would definitely help.
In another country, no less.
Yeah. The TakeOver was very good, and we'll get to the juicy details on that in a bit. Shall we open up with the 205 Live?
I believe, being a doctor, that should be a thing. We opened up your 205 with Hideo Itami has been suspended for at least one evening due to the fact that last week he fucked up the main event. It is announced that we will have a match between Ali and somebody's training partner. And Vic Joseph is wearing glasses because apparently you can't be a cool play-by-play guy unless you're for NXT.
True.
And yeah, so then we had a three-man tag against the Lucha Underground. I mean, no, that's not right.
Don't insult Lucha Underground like that.
The Luchadors, the Lucha House Party.
Lucha House Party.
And then we had, they're just calling them the Alliance at this point, I believe. They're just kind of loosely, just sort of loosely terming them the Alliance.
I would prefer the loose affiliation.
They should have that on the butt of their trousers.
It's much better than Alliance, because God knows that the WWE ruined Alliance with, well, the Alliance angle.
That is true. I'm sorry if I'm a little brain meandery. I just spent like 3 or 4 hours out in the sun looking at cars at the Father's Day show and shine. Happy Father's Day out there to all you bad mothers.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Lucha Underground come down with Penelope Gulak, who is a piñata shaped like a mule with a little push bar on the back, and Drew Gulak's face on the front.
Which I laughed at.
Yeah, it's the only time you're going to see Gulak go face, I think. We had your boy, Percival, say highly hypocritical, to which everybody on commentary went, "What did you say?"
Yep.
Hypercritical.
It was not a good show for the announcers.
I know you're hanging out with fucking fuck, my brain is just sunbaked right now. You're hanging out with the Englishman, but they drop the R's and you got to read through that. I have really seen this match a bunch of times before already in all of its iterations, so
yeah.
I wasn't totally paying attention. There was one point where Kendrick ate a tope from, I want to say, Kalisto, and he legitimately might have a stinger from that, or got just like a temporary, because he was not doing the roll around cell job. He was thrashing half of his body like maybe there was something really wrong.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And then we had your boy Nigel McGuinness make his audio fuck up by saying all fun and no games makes Jack a dull boy.
See, I missed that. That's how sad this is. I was paying so little attention to this match that I missed that.
And I even told you it was coming, too.
I know.
So he said, all fun and no games makes Jack a dull boy. And there was total silence from both other guys for at least 10 seconds. And I think that maybe he said it to pop them, and they were just killing themselves laughing. That's what I hope happened right there. The match was okay. There was nothing really wrong with it. It's just that I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, it's the problem is that outside of perhaps Gulak, all of these men have been limited to like a very WWE moveset. We have 6 moves you're going to hit. That's all. And it's a shame because all of them can work to a much higher level than that with much more variety.
I would agree. We had after that a Hideo Itami promo.
I suppose we should actually say who won. In the end, Gulak gets busted for using the tights, and only for Dorado to use the same trick to pin Kendrick. And Percy Watson becomes hypocritical face commentator.
Hypocritical, sir.
Hypocritical face commentator by, completely raking Gulak over the coals and then being like, turnabout is fair play. He just did what he had to do to win the match. I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it.
I kind of like that a little bit.
I don't.
The only time I've ever heard a face commentator just dig right back at the heel commentator, so I was actually kind of refreshed and entertained by that part. But then we followed up with a Hideo Itami promo where he's speaking no English, and then does say some stuff in English, and you will respect him. And they kind of just kept it short and sweet. It was good. It was fine.
Only problem is that his gimmick is very Nakamura's gimmick.
Correct. Then we had a promo off between Buddy and Spud, and it was good stuff. I don't remember anything specific from there other than I think Buddy's like, I wanted to fight the guy. Well, he wants to fight the guy. Well, why don't?
Yeah, Maverick pretty well shut Buddy down with the. Yeah. So here's an idea. Next time you come up to your boss, you come with a proposal, not a demand.
That is correct. So then after that, we had Ali doing a promo, and it was kind of funny because he was obviously, they obviously had one of the production cameras on him, but he had his arm up as though he was holding a cell phone. So I was more distracted by that than I was doing anything about listening to what he had to say. I'm like, why is this an affectation? I don't understand this at all. We had Akira Tozawa against some really scruffy-ass jobber, and the match was kind of awkward with a couple of weird botched floppy moves.
Well, it was kind of awkward because Tozawa had to sell for the jobber.
Yeah.
That's why I put here a skilled jobber. The only problem was he wasn't really all that skilled. It's not like they went and got... I'm just trying to think of someone that they could have gotten that's not on contract already. Let's throw out M-Dog Matt Cross, for example.
There you go.
You brought him in for one night only. You had him be like the skilled jobber. That worked great because he's a fucking awesome wrestler. This guy, not so much. This was just Tozawa kind of selling for a scrub. Like he was a jobber who had proper gear, which is better than some of the jobbers have had. But realistically, they should have been like the TJP jobber matches where it's just a joke, not competitive. And they made it competitive, so I didn't really enjoy this.
Yeah, it didn't make
I get what they're going for. Tozawa just had Itami turn on him. He's maybe doubting himself a little bit. He's going through some stuff. But then, seriously, hire a really good local wrestler. There's got to be one. And do this match instead of just, botch heavy.
Yeah, or, have him just continue to attack Itami. Why isn't this a feud?
Well, he's suspended, so...
Whatever.
I assume that we will get a Tozawa-Hitami longer feud at some point.
Yeah, maybe. We had a Lio Rush promo, which was again awesome. Lio Rush, very good at what he's doing. Either that or whoever's producing.
I enjoyed this one a lot more. I was pretty lukewarm on the first one, but I did enjoy this one a lot.
I was I guess this one was better than the last one. I was really good.
I'm the right guy at the right time.
You bet you believe it. Then we had Tony doing some chair dips, looking all muscly and awesome. And then we had TJP, who did a promo continuing his tease to going up to heavyweight, which would be interesting.
Interesting, but probably ends up with him being buried.
That could be. Or we could have the next Eddie Guerrero on our hands.
Doesn't have that level of charisma.
Not yet, not now. But I'm saying, like, if his stuff develops as his body develops, you could have that. And then we had Ali versus training partner. I mean, Tony. They kept saying he's a training partner. Like, that's all he is now. That's all Tony Nese is a training partner of your boy.
He is the Mike Whitehead of 205 Live.
Kinda, yeah. Buddy Murphy comes down with him. And I actually like them as a duo. I think that's a good pairing.
Well, I think it works. You got basically bodybuilder douchebags as a tag team.
Yeah,
that's good.
Exactly. Your boy Schmendrick the Amazing comes down to even the odds. And holla holla playa, we got us a tag team. Oh no, we don't.
No, we got a singles match with just a lot of involvement from Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, actually, my line here says holla holla for next week for holla holla tag team match for next week due to interference. Playa. Which, spoiler alert, didn't actually end up happening that much. I just figured they'd schmoz at some point, and then holla holla play it, we'd have a tag team match next week.
Yeah, we'd have the Teddy Long special for next week, but it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Actually, a relatively good use of outside distraction, actually. Kudos to that.
There was an awesome spot early in the match where I believe it was Buddy Murphy doing the worst body scissors I've ever seen in my life, followed by Ali doing the worst spastic crackhead Hulk up job I have ever. It was fucking hilarious. I don't know what they were doing, or if was this a rib? I don't get it.
I don't know.
There was a Tony Nese hit the Flip Gordon special. I don't remember what that was, but I just have that written down, so it's something very Flip Gordon-ish. They went from having did I say Buddy Murphy with the body scissors?
You did. Tony Nese was the one doing it.
Anthony Nice. I mean, they're practically the same person.
They really don't look similar enough to make these mistakes.
They're both pale. They both hail from Tunisia.
No, neither of them, in fact, do.
Well, whatever. They pulled off. They went from doing the dumbest Hulk up body scissor combo thing ever to doing the best double clothesline I've ever seen. Like, that had impact, momentum. There wasn't just two lunkheads going kutunk and then falling over. It was really good. I enjoyed it. You should watch the match just for that spot. We had, what else do I have written down here? I just got a bunch of shit written down. I'm just going to read notes. Not like I don't do that anyway. We had a top rope backflip into a diving, I have diving in quotes, lariat, to which I have written OP.
Yes.
Tony was on the top rope, does a backflip, or no, it was your boy Ali was on the top rope, did a backflip over Tony, and then Tony kind of stumbled trying to do his lariat, and turned it into a diving lariat, which looked like it had all more momentum in the world, and then just they sold the shit out of it. It was great. It was the best cover-up for an almost botch. At one point, there was a plancha over a referee. That was pretty good. Schmendrick the Amazing and Bundy Murray came to blows, which was fun. There was a brutal one-armed buckle bomb. I'm going to let you guess which one pulled that off. That was harsh, and it looked dangerous, but apparently it was perfectly done. Well performed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the finish was. I just have written down well-timed finish.
Ali did his standard finish. He goes over.
Oh, yeah. But
after...
There was a good sequence of moves in there, and it was all like, it wasn't drawn out. He didn't stop and grandstand and hot dog for like 30 seconds. It just kind of like thing happened, finish. So like it was just really well done in that regard. Ali wants a triple threat, gets on the mic and talks shit, says he wants a triple threat for the number one contendership with Bundy, Murray, and Hideous Tatami, and Drake says, yeah, cool, next week we'll do that. And Daddy Lex.
I'm reasonably looking forward to that match. Even though Tommy's run in 205 Live has been underwhelming.
Well, can you point to me another spot that maybe his run in the WWE itself was not underwhelming?
A lot.
Excellent. We then went to NXT for the Takeover Go Home show. We started the program with War, legally distinct and therefore copyrightable, Raiders versus Le Jabier.
Yeah, this continues my whole thing about I don't think they really know where they're going with the tag team division, but there was a promo at the end of this that gives me some hope for the future.
Yeah, the one thing I can say about the match is I really like the coloring job on the Jobber's tattoo. That guy's got paid some money for that. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the match happened, and then it was over, and they don't announce the name of the finish for War, legally distinct, therefore copyrightable Raiders, because they haven't copyrighted a new name for it yet, I don't think.
Probably the case.
They call out The Mighty, which, if you don't know who that is, you're kind of a tard, I'm not gonna lie.
TM61.
Correct. There is they decided to do an extra beatdown on Le Jabier's. There was a pop-up power slam double team maneuver, and I think they almost killed that guy. Was it Hansen? Yeah, Hansen came in for caught the guy for the power slam and caught him way too late. And that guy's head definitely drug across the ground.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was fun.
Hopefully we're getting a TM61 War Machine long-term feud. And hopefully it's really, really good.
That is the hope. I like The Mighty Don't Kneel, and I like War Machine. It's just that I don't have any faith that they're going to be able to be allowed to do anything. Then again, it's NXT, and you can surprise me. We had a segment where the Undisputed are discussing things, including Bobby Fish on camera. And your boy, Adam Cole Babay, comes over and says, no pictures,
no pictures, goddammit.
You only take pictures when I say you can. Then we had a commercial for Fozzy, which is really, the highlight of the show.
It could be painless.
Could be painful.
Could also be Judas.
It could be. We had a Gargano versus Champa's recap, which was really good. I was going to skip it, and then I couldn't.
That's because this is an incredibly well-done storyline.
This is incredibly well done.
The literally only hiccup was the whole me having a heart attack going, are we going to have Candace turn on Johnny? Oh.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but I think it might be the other way around. We had an EC3 versus Chris Hero, a.k.a. Cash's Ono match. There was a leg sweep reverse DDT that was here. I can't remember who pulled it off, but it was amazing. And then the match ended. It was just kind of... I expected a lot better, and I didn't get any of it.
Yeah, I basically put in my notes, I'm like, EC3 goes over with the 1%er, and I'm like, this just needed more time, and there was some fat you could have cut from this show.
Yeah. Speaking of which...
Speaking of fat...
Speaking of which, we had Blond Keibler versus Alia. Alia is fucking garbage, and Blond Keibler is not much better, and she's never going to get any better if she has to continue to work with people like this. If you're going to force her onto TV, put her in matches with people who are good and let them do
there's about time for a decent step up from her, and it looks like they're going to give it. Dakota Kai might be her next opponent. I don't. I think they're keeping Dakota Kai in the main event scene. I think Dakota Kai. But there was a promo later on where they basically had her and Dakota Kai go face to face.
Yeah, I know. But
So we're going to at least get a match between them, would be my assumption.
I guess.
Which would be better because Dakota Kai's got a little bit more experience, can possibly put together a bit of a longer match, and we can do something with Belair. Mind you, they gave Belair to Candice LeRae and then gave her, like, no time and just had her squash Candice, so...
Yeah, and also they buried Candice on commentary for this match. They just kind of threw Candice right under the bus as not being anything, which is... She's
sad.
The second best wrestler on the NXT roster?
For women, third.
She's third?
I put her third.
I could see that.
I have her behind Nikki Cross and Kairi Singh.
Yeah, I could see that.
Possibly as low as fourth if you believe Shayna Baszler should be above.
Yeah, she's definitely proving herself worth the hype. Yeah. And what do I have? I have notes on here. They bury Candice on commentary. Alia is trash. Blair is not ready for TV. And who told her to spray rhino liner on her lips? All the notes I got for that one. We had a Shayna Baszler recap, a Dakota Kai promo, and I have... So, right before... we came back from commercial, and they played Blond Keibler's music, and my first note just goes, fuck! And then I wrote down who's having the match.
Uh-huh.
And then after we do the thing, and then Dakota promo, and then it says, Blair, fuck! She's bad. She's not good on the mic. She's just reading. I think somebody's literally holding up a cue card on the other side of Dakota Kai, and she's literally just reading it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for NXT to really produce a good homegrown female talent before I really believe anything. Because the closest they have right now is Lacey Evans. That's not a huge... it's not a huge endorsement to your skills in this regard.
Not at all. And also, I have a note here that says, I like the fact that the interview bot's mic is fake as shit.
Or I guess technically they had Bailey as a homegrown talent. But, and then they botched her on the main roster, so that's not even helping.
No. But yeah, I like the fact that the interview bot's microphone is fake as shit, so you shouldn't have even... Just stop having them there. Just stop. None of us care about any... Listen, there's only one female non-wrestler in pro wrestling, okay, two, that anybody cares about. One of them's Tokyo Latina, and the other one is Melissa Santos.
Renee Young.
Eh.
I didn't say we did. I said people do.
I guess, yeah, okay, three. Other than that... Jillian Hall's retired, and even then, the only reason people knew who she was because she did her job for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we had some guy named Kyle and some guy named Pete, and they had a match, and it was fucking good as shit. Jesus Christ. My first note is, go Canada, eh?
Yeah. Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly had a great match. It felt almost like an MMA match in pro wrestling should be done.
Yeah.
That was the key. These guys came out and they did a lot of hard-hitting stuff, good grappling, good exchanges, kept it interesting. O'Reilly does some of the better submission work probably quite possibly the best submission work in the world.
So. Yeah,
Zack Sabre,
slow down.
Yeah, he transitions beautifully from like a triangle choke there was a point where he transitioned beautifully from a triangle choke to an omoplata, and it was very smooth, very nicely done. Great work. And I don't just say that because he's Canadian.
No, it looks like he's attacking you. It doesn't. Listen, I know that it's nice to watch Zack Sabre Jr. and or his mentor in life, Suzuki.
Well, Minoru Suzuki has reasonably interesting grappling when he really gets in. When the thing with Minoru Suzuki is like two modes. He has like the mode that he uses with Zack Sabre Jr. where they do like kind of dumb looking stuff, and then the stuff he does with like Hiroki Goto, for example, where it's actually pretty damn believable.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand it's nice to watch people do a scientific deconstruction, slowly working body part. It's cool to see. It's cool to see these things, especially if they have transitions from one to the other. That's awesome. That's not always, very rarely actually is that what I really want. I want this. I want Kyle O'Reilly attacking the shit out of you, and you are going to fucking tap, or I'm going to attack the shit out of another part of your body. That's the submission shit that I want. If Zack Sabre Jr. could speed his ass up a little bit and make it look like maybe he's doing something that hurts, I'd be more interested in Zack Sabre Jr.
So the finish comes. O'Reilly gets his fingers up into Dunn's face, and that's never a good plan. It's a bad plan, because when Dunn gets a hold of your digits, he breaks them. And he does, and he hits the bitter end, and he retains his title.
Correct. It was great. I enjoyed it. There was a beatdown. One of my notes in the middle of the match is like, no fish hooking, you hoser. Yeah, there was a beatdown on Pete Dunne after the match. Britt and Bruisers come down to save the day, and my last note says, "Go on, my son!"
Indeed. Britt and Bruisers stand tall at the end, sending Strong and Cole and O'Reilly flying. And, the unfortunate thing is they stand tall heading into the pay-per-view, and you know they're going to lose.
Yeah, WWE can't let momentum be on their side. That would be wrong.
Then we had the debut of Lucha Underground. We are back, and it felt so good. It felt so good.
How good did it feel?
So we open up with Dario Cueto's funeral, with his father in attendance along with the government agent and no one else, which was also great. His father goes, "We Cuetos are better at making enemies than friends. That's why there is no one here."
It was fantastic. I couldn't, you can't really tell from the voice. They might have got somebody that sounds a little like him, but has been gargling sandpaper for 8 years. And then they pan up, and it's clearly Dario Cueto. but wearing a big old man wig with a glassy eye, and just selling the fact that he can't walk good. And he really moved like an old person. It was really well done. Mm-hmm. But it's clearly Dario Cueto.
Very much. So a couple of new notes in the story. Apparently his father ordered the hit on Dario.
Yeah.
His father's name is Antonio, so we were referring to him as Antonio. And he will be taking over, but he needs a new temple because the police raided the temple at Boyle Heights.
Yep.
But he's got a place. He used to run shows, and really he just needs the seal in the ring, and it's all good.
But the fact that it's the same arena, clearly the same arena.
I know.
Awesome. I love this. I love every part of it. It's so campy and ridiculous. It is nothing short of brilliant.
So we end up with a little bit of a tribute to Dario to open up the show with Melissa Santos back. Yes!
Jeez.
And Antonio comes out and is the best deadbeat dad of all time. He's like, "My son was a terrible promoter. I am much better." And we're going to get Aztec Warfare. And we go to commercial, come back, and the Trios champions, the Mac and Killshot, are in the ring. No Dante Fox. And Antonio reveals that they will be the first two entrants into Aztec Warfare. And the third entrant will be their new partner because Dante Fox's MIA probably means he did not re-sign with the company.
Yeah, I would assume. I have no idea who is... Actually, there's a link here on the Wikipedia to the cast and crew. I don't know if it's going to say former. Is there a former section? No. I don't know if anybody's edited this.
There was on Wikipedia, but it hadn't been edited yet.
I'm looking at the one on Wikipedia right now, but it still has the, all those guys. Dante Fox is still on there.
Mm-hmm.
Dante Fox, a.k.a. AC Fox, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And Mascarita Sagrada is still on contract. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea.
Well, there may be guys who didn't appear in the show who are still on contract, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
Fox was the only one that kind of caught my attention, is he might be gone because I just think they would have phrased this in a different way story-wise if he was still there to take the title off of him.
Correct.
So we end up starting off Aztec Warfare with Killshot and the Mac, and they don't really do anything until the countdown starts. And it's Son of Havoc!
Yeah, baby.
Havoc's got gold again!
Daddy likes. Daddy wants Son of Havoc to have all the gold.
Then they didn't really do much until number 4, the sleaze man, Joey Ryan.
World famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
His hot ass wife.
He's got the handcuffs out. We also had a theory. We need his hot ass wife to show up in Lucha Underground as the wife he's paying child support to. Yes. Because that was referenced in season 2.
That would be fantastic. Oh, hey, the next, what is it? Is it the next guy? Yeah, the next guy up, Mr. Spectacular, trained by some guys named Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Bubba Ray and Devon trained him, and he also did training at Ohio Valley. So, debuted the day after my birthday, 2010. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. This is Jesse Goddard from TNA, for those who are more familiar with the TNA product. He had a fairly long stay there. He was part of the Jersey Shore tag team with Robbie E. And he also was Victoria's boy toy.
Nice.
So he is Mr. Spectacular here. So yeah, Joey Ryan handcuffs himself to the ring ropes. This is pretty dumb because this strategy has never actually worked for him. And he's also handcuffing himself in the ring, which is a big dumb. Anyways, we get our first elimination when Killshot rolls up the Mac from behind after the Mac was working over Joey Ryan. And number 6, the crowd fucking explodes because it's Pentagon! The champ is here!
And then he starts fucking eliminating people.
Yeah. Joey Ryan even uncuffs himself to try to get away from Pentagon, and it's like, no, sir. Pentagon pump handle driver, please. Bam!
Correct.
You're done. Pump handle drive, by the way, most over move in this match.
Yeah, he used it a few times.
Killshot goes to try to eliminate his other tag team partner, Havoc, but that doesn't work. Havoc escapes and then ends up eliminating him, so Killshot's gone. Number 7 is Tommy Dreamer, and
marked out huge.
Yeah, you even knew it was coming, and you marked out huge.
Yeah. Like the thumbnail said Tommy Dreamer number 7, and I was like, ooh! And then we were watching it, and I was really enjoying myself, and then like, Tommy Dreamer! I'm like, oh my god, Tommy Dreamer! I knew this was coming, guys, I don't care.
In the meantime, Pentagon eliminates Mr. Spectacular, who didn't really get to do a lot, which is a shame, because Jesse Goddard is not a bad wrestler, and has an amazing physique.
He is very attractive.
So number 8 was Mariposa. And it was pretty funny because Mariposa gets in the ring and Dreamer's like, just a second. He's like about to nail Pentagon with the kendo stick. And it's like, I will get to you in a moment. And so Pentagon eats a couple of pretty decent kendo shots, including one where he dives over the top rope into a kendo stick. Him and Dreamer go to the outside. They brawl. There's some thumbtacks involved. So that's always fun. In the meantime, Havoc eliminates Mariposa. And eventually Pentagon eliminates Dreamer. And then we get to number 9, which is Vinny Massaro.
Random and amusing.
Vinny Massaro is the sleazy Italian wrestler, and he has a pizza delivered to him. But he is not paying for the pizza, because he would not do such a thing.
No, that would not be heelish enough.
Indeed. He gets in the ring, tries to feed Pentagon pizza. That didn't really work out well. He gets pump handle drivered and eliminated.
I would have preferred if Pentagon ate the pizza.
And then probably in the most underused man in the match, number 10 was Hernandez. Supermax is back.
Yeah, he could have been a viable threat to, I don't know, eliminating anybody, but they didn't really do it that way.
Yeah, they didn't really do that. He just got his arm broken by Pentagon and, pinned. Mm-hmm. And then Pentagon eliminated Havoc with a lung blower, which was pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yes.
And number 11 was the man who will be on Survivor this season, and wrestling fans should cheer him on. Johnny Mundo, welcome to Slam Island. And number 12 ended up being the music of Angelico, and this had me looking literally at the top roof of the temple the entire match, because I wanted Angelico to randomly dive in at some point. But it ended up being Ricky Mundo, who was doing Stalker Johnny Mundo gimmick mixed with Al Snow with a doll.
I like it. I was enjoying it a great deal. I wanted him to do more in the match, too. He kind of didn't get much of a chance.
Yeah, he went for the roll-up on Johnny Mundo after helping Johnny beat up some people, and Johnny's like, what the hell are you doing? Bam! Get the hell out of here. Also disturbing that none of the Worldwide Underground outside of the Mundos were in the match, which I hope doesn't mean that they're gone, except for maybe Jack Evans.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And number 13 is Phoenix. And man, Phoenix put on a fucking clinic on how to use the ropes just throughout this match. Fucking great work.
The guy, I want Grand Metalik to actually watch this match so that he can do things better than he is doing. Like, Grand Metalik does great stuff. It's just that he does it very slowly. And Phoenix was doing this at like twice the speed of a normal human.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic work. Number 14, Jeremiah Crane. And then, of course, number 15, Millions Muerteses.
All of the Muerteses have been converged into one potential Muay Thai.
The square off for Katrina is on, and by the way, Katrina. Oh, yeah.
She is very attractive.
So, in the end, everyone teams up against Mil Muertes and eliminates him. Phoenix eliminating him with the Way of the Warrior double stomp to the back of the fucking head. Jesus
fucking Christ.
Yeah. Oh. And number 16 is Daga, the return of Daga with Cobra Moon. By the way, longest storyline of all time.
And she is very attractive as well.
Indeed, she's looking in fantastic shape, and the gear looks a lot better on her now.
I was kind of hoping she'd be in the actual match.
Number 17 is the Booker, the agent, the legend, Chavo Guerrero.
Ooh, Chavo.
Ooh, Chavo. And Chavito comes in. Pentagon ends up eliminating Jeremiah Crane. Jeremiah Crane is actually jaw-jacking with Chavo, and Pentagon catches him. Pump handle slam, and no baseball bat for Jeremiah Crane this match.
Oh, man.
Phoenix got eliminated by Chavo in somewhat unimpressive fashion with a brainbuster.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I don't understand what's going on there.
And
although
Johnny,
I guess they're just trying to get everybody shit in as quickly as they can.
And Johnny Mundo eliminates Daga, which basically seals his fate.
Yarp. Number
18, King Cuerno. Number 19, Dragon Azteca Jr. This is when Cobra Moon comes back with Vibora to deal with Mundo. They beat the fuck out of him. And the final entrant is Marty the Moth Martinez.
Fantastic.
And
all of the greasy creepy, and I loved it.
And Marty pins a basically lifeless Johnny Mundo. So we then lost Dragon Azteca getting pinned by Cuerno with a frog splash, which was meant to kind of mock Chavo Guerrero, who Cuerno was feuding with during the match. This sets up the final four of Pentagon, who's been in there for freaking ever, Chavo, Marty Martinez, and King Cuerno.
Highly enjoyable.
Which, interestingly, didn't have, there was no actual, 100% face in the final four.
Yeah, it was interesting. Although I think we were all really rooting for Marty the Moth Martinez.
Yeah. I mean, Marty's got some face reactions. Pentagon, of course, has massive face reactions, but he's more or less a heel. And Chavo, definitely a heel. And Cuerno's always been a heel, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Cuerno's teamed up with a couple faces a couple times, but
yeah, mostly Aerostar and Drago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's supposed to be a heel. So interesting selection for the final four. Chavo eliminates Cuerno with the Gory Bomb. Pentagon super kicks Chavo, pins him. Crowd is all over Pentagon's nuts as we go to the final two. Pentagon versus the Moth Martinez. Also, in the final four, we had a great bit of commentary where Josh Matthews is asking... Or, not Josh Matthews, fuck.
Jesus.
Matt Stryker.
Unforgivable.
That is unforgivable. I will lash myself for that one.
Well, you should.
Matt Stryker's like, who's the best wrestler? Chavo. Who's the best fighter? Pentagon. Who's the... Who's the best all around? Who wants it more? Cuerno. And then later on, Stryker throws in Marty Martinez may be the most dangerous guy because he's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And there was some interesting talk about what kind of words Marty responds to, because Vampiro was like, don't call him a creepy bastard. That's comfortable for him. That's where he lives. Anyways, Pentagon goes over, retains the title with the pump handle driver on Marty the Moth.
Actually, I believe it says here on Wikipedia that he's the package pile driver, sir.
Package pile driver? It's not really a package pile driver.
He used the Pentagon driver like a shitload, and then he finished it off with the package pile driver.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, Pentagon breaks the Moth's arm after the match, because we must. And Antonio Cueto comes out to bury his son more.
Well done.
This is a very good match, Pentagon. Now, my son, after watching you go through all that pain and suffering, he would have you defend your title right now. But I am a much better promoter. You will face Matanza next week.
I like that too.
So already fully behind Antonio Cueto.
Indeed. I have notes from ROH.
Alrighty, let's roll through.
We begin our match of the evening with Jonathan the Octopus Gresham versus Felipe Gordon.
Flip army.
Somebody needs to make like a Japanese monster T-shirt with Gorudon as the monster. He's wearing his book flip T-shirt, and there was an awesome sequence in the opener where they're avoiding. I can't remember. Flip, I think, tries to trip up Gresham, and Gresham avoids it, and then Gresham immediately goes into like a leg sweep, which flips over, and then gives him the "you can't see me" fucking motion. And Colt Cabana is like, "Hey, no, that's the wrong show." The crowd actually popped for it. That was pretty funny.
Flip Cena Gordon.
Yeah, it was a good match. There was a lot of good technical stuff between these. Gresham's really a mat technician, and Gorudon is, he flips.
One of the best high flyers in the world right now. Yeah, I would put him really top 5.
Oh yeah, easily. And he's only been wrestling for like 4 years or something, 4 or 5, and most of that while he's still in the army. So. There was some good fly spot. He does this thing where it's like you're watching him get to altitude, and then he just kind of hovers there, Michael Jordan style, and then he descends. I don't know how he does it. It's got to be something to do with body mechanics, because I know that's how Michael Jordan did it. It looked like he was just flying through the air, but if you slow it down, you can actually see him lift his legs very slowly, so it makes it look like he's just, floating through air. I'm sure that Gordon does something similar unconsciously. You got your boy with Gorudon. We've got the win with the what they call it, the Star Spangled Stunner, and I have here in my notes Star Spangled Stunner greater than the Eclipse. So that's what's up. We had Bully Ray come down. Bully Ray has given up being the enforcer of ROH. He has been fired from that position. And so now he's back on the roster as a talent. And he comes down because he's been harassing and running down Felipe Gordon. And he comes down and says, "You know what? I found out some stuff about you, and it's, you're from Montana. I tried to buy my parents some retirement property in Montana, and then they died. Your parents and my parents could have been neighbors, maybe. He didn't know that Flip was in the army, so he respects his army service, and so while they don't get along personally, he respects Gordon. So, in terms of, as far as Bully Ray's concerned, whatever feud they had is over. They're good." And then he beats the shit out of Flip Gordon. He goes to shake his hand and then kicks him right in the nuts. And
never ever trust Bully Ray Dudley.
It's like, my notes here say, wants to shake hands, don't do it. And then my next note says, ha ha, right in the ding ding. He just hoofed him right in the nuts and beat him up. And Cabana was hot on the mic. Cabana was talking shit. Called Bully Ray a loser, It's like he's a Hall of Famer, he's a former champion, but he is a fucking loser in life. He didn't say fucking, but
being able to beg Velvet Sky begs to differ.
Correct. We had a match between Kelly Klein and Deonna Purrazzo. It was alright. It was kind of clunky. There was a ref bump. They did a ref bump and it looked lazy. Like it looked like it was just kind of a schlocky thing to do in a match that probably didn't need it. And
I have a weird thing with Kelly Klein where every match of hers seems kind of clunky, and considering she's supposed to be kind of the technician girl, it's not great. Not great.
Yeah, and they keep hyping up this whole, she was undefeated for a year and a half. I'm like, you should probably go back to that, because it probably was working. There was a Chris Jericho Rock and Rager Cruise commercial in the middle, so that's awesome. Jericho is everywhere and does everything. But the finish was not good. They did the ref bump into the heel attack, into the face countering with their finisher, and then the heel countered the finisher and then got an instant tap. I can't remember what it was, like an arm bar or a crossface or something, or a choke. I don't know. I honestly don't remember, but Kelly Klein put a submission on Deonna Purrazzo, and she tapped in like a second and a half, just like right away, after having the match won. So I don't fucking understand that.
Seems kind of weird.
We had a promo, which will probably interest you, from Mr. Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been made official that Mr. Lethal will face Mr. Kushida at Best in the World.
I am 100% down for that.
We followed that up with a Dalton Castle promo, which he basically the upshot of the excellent promo from Mr. Castle is you should fear his inner furnace. And then he did the cool, weird lip jiggly thing that he does on the zoom in. It was good. I liked it. While the boys were doing boy stuff. And then our main event of the evening were two random Japanese fellows against two random gentlemen from North Carolina. I believe one of them was, one faction was known as Roppongi 3K, and I believe the other one was the Criscos, the Triscuits.
Are the Briscoes not from Delaware?
Oh yeah, right. Delaware. I forgot. They're all the same. They're all like the size of a postage stamp. You could walk across Delaware.
The Carolinas are reasonably large.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, yeah, they're. I keep from Sandy Hook or Sandy Fork, Froggy Swamp, Delaware.
We're going to Sandy Fork, Delaware. We're gonna kick some Briscoe ass.
So Roppongi 3K versus the Briscoes on TV, no less. Holy shit! What the fuck? There's really nothing I'm going to be able to say about this match. I do have some notes, but it's not going to... I'd just be telling you spots in the match. There was this really sick slingshot double stomp that you should really go check out. It was just fucking damn good. And if you like wrestling, and I know that Mike doesn't know a ton about the Briscoes, but I'm telling you now, you should probably go watch that match.
I know very, very little about the Briscoes. That's that is we'll go with that as the fact for now.
So Roppongi 3K versus the Briscoes on television. Jesus, just what else I gotta say?
That's good. It's a little chaos on chaos crime.
A little bit. Although I don't think the Briscoes... I don't know. I don't know what their official...
I don't think the Briscoes left chaos. I think they're just since they're not doing New Japan dates, they're not really doing things with them. But there was no breakup angle.
No, they just weren't. I think they lost the titles and then they got booked for some more shows and then they got just either stopped being booked or I don't know what.
I think they're trying to focus on their North American stuff right now to get the paydays.
I'm pretty sure they get paid more to work in Japan, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, but you got travel costs on top of that. You also got the fact that they have the family farm to run.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
on the other side of the United States and the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, the travel costs for the Briscoes have always been substantial, so they tend to not do a ton of traveling if they can help it.
I can dig on that. And that's all we had for the ROH. So watch the first match, watch the promos, watch the last match. You could give the women's match a miss. It's not very good.
It's a shame because I actually really like Deonna Purrazzo. I think she has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think they didn't book the match very well, and Kelly Klein should be kind of repurposed as Kelly Clunky, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of the weird thing. Like, her clunkiness doesn't really fit with her gimmick.
Yeah. And so we had this next Ice-T Takeover Chicago 2, which was pretty good. Pretty good. It's not too bad.
That is very, very true.
Wasn't too bad at all.
So we opened up with the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly defending their titles with Adam Cole at ringside. That will play a role later. Against the Brit and Bruiser, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
This was good times. This was aggressive.
This had a lot of what I was talking about with the O'Reilly Dunn match being very good. This was kind of the same thing. Is it had a very MMA feel to it. Very hard-hitting, very stiff, very much felt like a fight and brawl. Yep. The submission/rest holds, such that there were done very, very well as well. Kept the pace up. Not a lot of, cannot miss spots, just in generally a very, very good match altogether. Like, very well put together. Which makes sense, because these four men are not necessarily, one-spot guys. They're bringing the brutality throughout the entire match.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of good teamwork. That I think was one of the main things, is the teamwork. Is they didn't slow down on that at any point.
Which
you had some one-on-one stuff, and you had some two-on-one stuff, but there was a lot of two-on-two or back and forth between the two-on-ones, and this match didn't slow down ever.
Mm-hmm. Which is very impressive when you consider these are not exactly long-established tag teams. Kyle O'Reilly is a long-established tag team wrestler, so is Roderick Strong, but they only recently became a tag team with each other. Yet it is such a well-oiled machine already. And Lorcan and Burch, who I don't really know of having any particular tag team experience before this, at a high level anyways, are also working at a great, well-oiled machine, which is surprising when you consider how chaotic Oney Lorcan's wrestling style is.
Yeah, Oney is the one-man hurricane, man.
Pretty much.
Danny Burch is a much more contained hurricane.
Yes. There was a good bit where Burch was selling his arm, and that allowed Strong to break up a double team, and Lorcan had to escape a guillotine choke, which was done quite well. I appreciate that as a grappler. And we had eventually Adam Cole getting chucked from ringside because he saved the match for his team, which was hilarious. I didn't do anything. This is bullshit. They did the long double submission spot with Burch doing the crossface to O'Reilly and Lorcan doing the single leg Boston Crab to Strong, but O'Reilly fought his way out, kicked Lorcan in the face to get the both holds kind of broken, and we ended up with Chasing the Dragon or Total Elimination for the three. And the Era retains, which was expected.
Yeah.
As much as we enjoy Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, I think everyone does. Not really a team that had really the hype to take the belts off of the Era.
Not this week, but I think you give them 2 more weeks. You got the Brit and Bruisers, and you got Heavy Machinery, and who else has got that much hype?
I mean, I'm feeling they think the War Raiders have that kind of hype. They don't, but
they do not.
I think that's where they want to go.
I mean, that'd be nice, but
because I mean, with War Machine, you really sacrificed Heavy Machinery to them. I'm assuming they're also going to go over TM61 because TM61's going on this heel path, so feuding them with the Era doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah. there's not much they're doing with War Machine Raiders makes a lot of sense.
Not much you're doing with the tag team division really makes a lot of sense. Outside of very specifically this feud. And even this feud had some problems because, like, really it kind of developed off of Lorcan getting a title shot against Cole out of really nowhere. So, even that's not great storytelling.
No, I mean, other than the fact that they're all feuding, and he's like, yeah, I'll fucking take him on. Alright, random.
Yeah, but the feud kind of got underway when Lorcan got that title shot, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and Cole cut that promo being like, I don't even know who this Oni Lorcan is. And it was a believable promo, because Lorcan really had no like, momentum behind him heading into the match.
I had faith in him, and it was going to be awesome.
So do I. I love me over the Lorcan. I'm just saying, like, from a booking standpoint, I think he was coming off of, like, a loss and stuff. So, even this is really a booking mess. It just was really good.
Yeah.
Then we had some guy named Velveteen Hogan versus the Ricochet.
I believe it was Ricochet versus the racist giraffe.
That too. Kind of interesting to have a black guy doing the Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Well, not even the Hollywood, but just the Hulk Hogan, gimmick, basically. Mannerisms.
It was very strange. He was very much 80s Hulk Hogan up, but his tights had a weird giraffe pattern to them as well, so...
And of course he was a heel, unlike Hogan, because, he got up in the face of the announcing girls, like, get out of my way, I'm invading your personal space, unless you move.
And she didn't move, and he just went up and over her to stand on the top turnbuckle, or the middle turnbuckle. I don't know if she got a big old face full of the gooch, but... Probably.
Here is my package, right in your face. And then Ricochet came out, and this match was not very good for the start, but they did get going eventually.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think, honestly, I think this might have been one of the weakest match on the card. I'm looking at the other ones going, I don't know.
It's either this or the women's match.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the two main ones were amazing, and the tag match was also amazing, so... Correct. Yeah, by process of elimination, this might have been the weakest one, and in fairness, it's also the one with the least stakes, so kind of fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't totally invested. I wanted to see cool shit done. Cool shit was done. I didn't have... I mean, on the last podcast, I was really, really doubtful. And I enjoyed the match. I don't really have anything negative to say about it, other than I think if Ricochet was wrestling somebody else, like if this was Cassius Ohno versus Ricochet, fuck me. But and Velveteen Dream is coming a long way very fast. But he's not Ricochet level. And
to be honest, I've said this kind of like somewhat repetitively whenever we've had these talks about the Dream. If he was Ricochet level, man, with the amount of time he's been in the business, what would that say about Ricochet, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ricochet is one of the top 10 wrestlers in the world, so you don't get there overnight. I understand that. It's just that
I probably would feel worse about it if there was someone better to pair Ricochet off with that was in the proper position within the card, within the company. And there really isn't right now. Like you brought up Cassius Ohno. I think Cassius Ohno is below Ricochet's level right now. We had a similar conversation the other night about like Fabian Eichner. As much as we would like you to see him positioned higher on the card, he's just not. So that's kind of the problem. So with that said, I mean, we got Velveteen Dream in there, and he did a lot of new stuff, which I think is very good. He broadened out his horizons, worked a little bit more, because if he can diversify his moveset, he's got a lot of athletic ability, he's got a lot of natural charisma. He is very dedicated to, again, this is from watching him on Tough Enough, where there were a lot of guys who you got the feeling this was a paycheck at best for them. Josh Brettel, Tanner, etc. But like Patrick was one of the 3 guys that like I rooted for because they were wrestling fans. This was their dream, not a fallback. Well, for one guy, it was a bit of a fallback because he had been a basketball player, but like he had a clear passion for the business. He's been fired, by the way. I'm talking about Mata for those familiar with it. I'm very disappointed by that because I thought he was the best one on that entire series. He had a great fire, personality, desire, and physically had the build they were looking for. So very weird that he'd not pan out. But yeah, I think Dream is getting better and better and better. He had to sell his own moves, which is always great.
He did not do.
Sell your offense, boy.
Well, I mean, he used the purple yogurt slinger on a prone Velveteen Dream, and Velveteen Dream kicked out after 2. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I thought he sold the Death Valley bomb well, but yeah the elbow not so much. Anyways, Ricochet does get the win with the 630 because he is Ricochet. This is very good because I was worried they were going to put Dream over here, and I think there's a lot more for Dream to learn, and Ricochet is your new hot talent.
Velveteen Dream seems to be the jobber to the stars, but it's not. They're doing it in such a way that it doesn't hurt his character, and it doesn't hurt his momentum. Which
they're also spacing out wins. They're also spacing out wins in there because he has the loss to Alistair Black and then this. But in the meantime, he did have the win over Cassius Ohno, which keeps him nice and hot.
Yeah, which is something they've never done with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Everything done with Dolph Ziggler has been wrong. That's just all there is to it. However, still the biggest success story out of the Spirit Squad. Oh, God.
Correct.
So then we had the ladies match with Shayna Baszler defending against Nikki Cross. I just put this match is what you get when you put a bully in the ring with a masochist.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. They only didn't even give him 9.5 minutes to have this match, which, I mean, is probably okay. They want to keep... I am given the distinct impression that Shayna is still, she's pretty fucking brand new to the business in terms of her career.
Yeah, like we were talking about Velveteen Dream being green. Technically, Baszler's even greener. Yeah,
there's clearly things that they're, not exposing in her repertoire. So I think they're keeping this... I think they specifically had this feud because Nikki Cross can keep things nice and chaotic. She's also excellent in the ring. And there's no chance for anybody to see any kind of weakness or expose any weakness in Shayna Baszler's wrestling.
Yeah, it keeps the pace up enough that even if she does botch, it's not as noticeable.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, I like the match a whole bunch. I like the fact that she was choking Nikki Cross, and Nikki's like, ha 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 ha, oh, I'm unconscious.
So yeah, Baszler retains by choking her unconscious. Still presumably will end up with a Dakota Kai taking the belt off her, or Kairi Sane. I think those are really your 2 options.
Yeah. See, that's the problem.
Which is a shame because Nikki Cross may never get that belt.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's a bit of that's her and Becky Lynch not winning the belt are probably your 2 biggest tragedies of the NXT women's division.
I was going to use the word tragedy as well. After Asuka went up to the main roster, I didn't see anybody else who could possibly even hold that title except Nikki Cross. But I guess that it's not in the cards. Like, they're not moving up to hell. They're not even moving really Sanity up to the main roster yet.
Yeah, that's a pretty big botch that Sanity has still done nothing on the main roster.
Well, here's the deal, if you want to know the scoop on that.
Hit me.
They were going to have a tag team Money in the Bank match this year.
Oh.
But Vince decided after they held Sanity off TV, they took Authors of Pain off TV, they filmed all the promos, they filmed all the vignettes, they filmed it's all ready to go, and Vince is like, I'm bored with that now. So they
Vince pushed tag team wrestling? Never.
No. Well, I mean, he didn't. He isn't. He won't. He can't. He doesn't know he doesn't even know what it is.
Which is a shame, because they pilfered the tag team division on NXT, which is, again, still healthy. Like, there's enough talent there. I'm just confused by the booking of it.
I don't understand, my friend.
We got a little bit of a crowd shot with EC3 in the crowd, and also Keith Lee!
It's your boy Keith Lee.
So get ready for that call-up, or get ready for that NXT signing.
NXT.
Then we had Lars Sullivan versus Alistair Black NXT Championship match.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, considering that Lars Sullivan, very green, very kind of limited guy who's not been given a lot of ring time, which we had a debate that there's probably no... My opinion was that there's not really a way around that, per se, because you can't have people taking him to long matches just from a storyline standpoint, and you disagreed.
Yeah. Well, and in my defense, this one almost went 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot longer than his usual matches.
Yes, but it's against the fucking champion.
Yeah.
My point was just basically is that there's maybe 4 to 5 guys on the roster that you can really give long matches with Lars Sullivan. Not that there's only 4 or 5 guys who are capable, but there are only 4 or 5 guys that work within the storyline of Lars Sullivan that can take him to longer matches.
I would agree.
And Alistair Black is one of them, and this was a very interesting match with the whole strength versus speed aspect to it. By the way, anyone who needs to book a strength versus speed match, go watch this match because it's very well done, considering that you, again, have Lars Sullivan, who's a very green guy, and you really hide any weaknesses that he has. We don't know that he has weaknesses. I assume they are there just because of his green level, and they're hid very, very well, much like their Nikki Cross-Baszler match.
Yeah, I think, well, the big thing in this match was the impact. So you were selling Alistair Black actually having impactful moves, which you're not allowed to do on the main roster. You're not allowed to make it look like you're hurting somebody in wrestling. So Alistair Black was hitting him with knees, he's hitting him with kicks, he's hitting him with punches. You know, he's actually hitting the guy, or, you know, making it look like he's hitting the guy.
And he definitely hit him at one point because he busted that nose up.
Yeah, a little bit. That was right near the end. I think Alistair was a little tired throwing kicks.
Well, I think that actually happened early. I think he was bleeding in his mouth pretty early on, actually, and the nose came later.
So, yeah, that's probably true.
So, yeah, he did get one kick caught. Also, one of the most painful-looking horse collars ever. Jesus Christ. Lars Sullivan, keep doing that. That is good work, my friend.
Enjoyable.
And in the end, it takes 2 black masses to finish off Lars, 1 on his feet, 1 on his knees, and Alistair Black retains the title, which is... This was kind of a weird booking spot. Do you end the role of Lars Sullivan here, or do you take the belt off of Black? And I honestly kind of didn't really like either option.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this would be the perfect opportunity to take Lars Sullivan way too early up to the main roster. So, I don't know.
Well, I mean, he could be a success story. He's a guy who I think could be a success story on the main roster, akin to a Braun Strowman who came up way too early as well.
Yeah.
Because one of the few things they know how to book is big monster dudes.
Yeah.
That is the only thing they know how to book. Well, and they know how to book Chris Jericho, but that's Chris Jericho knowing how to book Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho kind of knows what he's doing, and you just let him do what he wants.
So we hit the main event of the week. Johnny Gargano, Tamasa Champa, Chicago street fight. Not that there's any specific rules at a Chicago street fight that is not in a regular street fight. But,
it's got to be more wind.
They should just have a giant fan over at the entranceway blowing like tons of wind.
All the wind in the world.
Randomly, they'll just get hit with like litter and like a random coffee cup.
Trash can lid just rolling around.
So before the match begins, Johnny Gargano's coming out looking very Captain America, I might say. Candice runs up to him, gives him the crutch, and tells him to go kick Ciampa's ass. Yeah. I have written here, please do not let this be a swerve where Candice turns on him. I I am going to have a lot less enthusiasm than a lot of people, and the problem is my background of watching a lot of CZW has left me entirely desensitized to street fights. To a ridiculous level.
Racist.
It's not a race thing. It's I have seen people take weed whackers. I can't go back from that.
That is true. It would be a hard step down.
So I'm going to confine my criticism of the match, and I didn't have many, to be quite clear. I just wasn't as wowed as like when we were watching it. You were reacting much bigger than me. I will confine myself to I wanted Drake Younger to be the referee. That's my only nitpick, really.
Yeah. Well, I pushed that whole storyline months ago.
And I was all on board with it. I wish they would do more things just acknowledging who Drake Younger is. I know that, like, I believe he can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
But, hint at the history. What is the point of having a massively jacked ref and doing kind of nothing with it and just treating him like a normal ref?
That is the truth.
So we got some standard plunder stuff. We had some trash can lids. We had handcuffs. We had the crutches, of course. Johnny bringing out a short crutch that started the whole feud, and Champa bringing out like a camouflage kind of golden crutch, which is pretty fucking neat.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I don't know why he's got. Why wouldn't it be black? Black Heart.
Well, because he keeps coming out in like camo gear and stuff, and he like likes to use gold. So yeah, he's not really incorporating the Black Heart thing into his color scheme. We had some really good stuff here. These guys are consummate professionals. They did a fantastic job. Is there anything else you want to roll through before I go through the kind of ending of the match?
Not really. It was just really goddamn good.
Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the match, Champa has taken Gargano's wedding ring and spit it on it and thrown it away. And Gargano and him are fighting up on top of... what were they really kind of fighting on top of? Just kind of like one of those...
Some kind of stack of speakers.
Some kind of stack of speakers or something, yeah. He hits him with a slightly ill-executed by Gargano standards air raid crash onto two tables below. The angle was a little bit wrong, is what I'm saying with the execution. Yeah. It's kind of what I was like wondering if I'm wondering if Champa got like obviously this is a planned spot, but I was kind of wondering like, is there a little bit of truth to Ciampa's injury right now? Because they did take that move a little bit wrong. But you have Gargano sitting on top of the speakers looking fucking psychotic. Like he's going to murder someone. And the officials are trying to get Gargano or Champa onto the stretcher, get him out of there on the neck board. And he gets down eventually, kind of does fuck it. He starts beating people up, getting to Champa, dragging him back to the ring on the gurney. Part of the hardwood had been exposed earlier by Champa, which was interesting because the announcers kind of sold it pretty well. Outside of, I really don't like, sometimes the announcers treat us really dumb. Like, they've exposed the hardwood underneath the ring, and there is no padding there. I'm like, you don't need to say that. I'm aware there's no padding there.
Yeah, that's mainly why I stopped watching wrestling for years, is because it was fucking insulting.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, no, I understand, by God, stomping a mud hole. I get it.
Mm-hmm. And he handcuffs Gargano or Champa up. He's going to go for the big finish, and Champa catches him with a DDT on the hardwood and actually wins the match, despite being, I believe both men are probably concussed.
Yeah, I'm fine with them using this to continue the feud. I'm good with that. This is like easily feud of the year. But also, I was a little confused because they had spent a good chunk of that match beating up on Gargano, only to have him finally, have a big face moment of clarity and just fuck it all, and then they didn't get him the win. I'm not totally convinced that was the best way to do that, but
I'm tremendously mixed on it. I kind of like where we're going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit weird.
I'm fine with watching whatever happens next.
but at least we didn't get the loved one screw job. So, happy. Keep Vince away from this feud. Please, God.
Jesus Christ, please. Both of them. No Vinces.
Well, I mean, Vince Russo would just have her naked in his cage at some point, so,
Probably, yeah. On a pole, in a cage, naked.
Candice on a pole match!
Yup.
I mean, we had Judy Bagwell on a pole. Clearly we can have Candice.
If you can put Judy on a pole, you can put anybody on a pole.
Yeah. We're making fun of Vince Russo again.
Yeah, he's there to be made fun of.
He is there to be made fun of because, just on a tangent, my problem with Vince Russo is not even that he was a shitty booker. It's that, man, he still defends his shit. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, people
don't get it.
Inferno shit for, like, crazy ideas. The problem is that he just got bored in meetings and would make shit up just to try and get people out of their fucking comfort zone and think of new things. He would, like, I don't know if you probably heard about the whole alien invasion angle.
Yes, I have.
Well, he's like, yeah, I just did that because no one was paying the fuck attention.
Pretty much.
But Vince Russo is if Vince Russo would have come up with that, not only would he have forced that to happen.
Bro, I know. David Arquette should still be WCW champion, bro.
Yeah. It's just, like, he would push that shit, and then he would be convinced 30 years down the line, after he had ruined that company with that angle, that he had done the right thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, is, like, Vince Russo has legitimately ruined WCW. He legitimately ruined TNA more than once. Yeah. And somehow he's the victim. I remember Brian Alvarez was making fun of him because he was reading the final words from Vince Russo's book with Vincent Verhey on their podcast. And he's like, the wrestling industry has taken so much from me and my family and has given nothing back and has no appreciation. The wrestling industry has killed WCW killed Vince Russo. And Vincent Verhey, in the most calm voice, rational voice ever, just goes, that is factually incorrect. WCW is gone. Vince Russo is still alive. So, anyways, well, enough on Vince Russo. Takeover, definitely worth a watch. Fantastic stuff. We don't have star ratings for this, right?
No, it just happened, and it takes Meltzer, if Meltzer watches the match and decides to give it a star rating, those are two, caveats.
Oh, he'll watch Champa. He'll watch Champa Gargano for sure.
Yeah, he'll probably watch most of this, if not all of it. Next week he'll probably usually release a star rating somewhere in the middle of the week, and then they'll be up on the database, like, near the end of the week.
I didn't have a 5-star match on here, but I can definitely see how Gargano Champa would be a 5-star match.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being given 5 stars. I would not rate anything on this card below 3 3/4. I think the Ricochet Velveteen match was probably around there, and everything else was 4 stars and up.
I've got the ladies at 3 3/4 as well. A little bit short. Give that a little bit more time, perhaps.
That's true. I will give you that.
I would go. I'm gonna go 4 3/4 for the tag match. Actually, that was really, really good, and I'm gonna go 4.5 for Black and Lars.
Yeah, I could see that being a thing. I mean, it's no Chicago street fight, but it was pretty
good. So that is the podcast for today. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Some fantastic stuff.
He is the Paranormal Ox Man. And you can go fuck yourself.
You will fall before our cold reptilian logic.
Indeed.
And go Serbia and Croatia at the World Cup. Go Poland. It's been a great World Cup for me so far!
It's too bad they're going to lose to both Trinidad and Tobago.
Not in the World Cup, sir.